Hello everybody. So today I've decided to go to a charity book fair. I haven't been in so long, but it's basically the Save the Children book sale and they do it at a few locations, like a few times a year. I missed out on their winter book sale, but they're doing another one this month. So I've decided to get ready, go out. I'm gonna make a day of it. I don't know like how many books I'm gonna pick up. They're all gonna be like really cheap. So like $1, $2, $3. And in the past, like even at the Save the Children like charity shops, I have found so many good books for really cheap, and some of my favorite books for really cheap as well. So I am so excited to see what's there. If this all goes well, I'll do a little book haul at the end after I'm done, and yeah, let's go shopping. Hello, I'm back with a box of books. I am so happy with what I managed to get today. I spent just over $20 and I got 7 books in total, and a lot of them were hardcovers. A lot of them were like books that I wanted to read over the years and just haven't prioritized for whatever reason. So I'm really happy to have them now. I'm just gonna go through them with you now. So first off, I will show you the one that I accidentally just showed you then, and that is Egg and Spoon by Gregory Mcguire. I remember seeing this, I feel like all over BookTube maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Like I feel like this got a little bit of hype back in the day and I wanted it, but I never picked it up. I think it is middle grade and it's a historical fiction. It is about Elena Rodina, who lives in the Russian countryside. Her father's dead and one of her brothers has been conscripted into the Tsar's army. And then a train carrying a bunch of wealth and food and everything that could change her life arrives in her village, and she meets a girl who's a part of a noble family who's also on that train, and then their worlds collide. And yeah, I've heard really good things about this one. I'm very much excited. I love the cover. It's in this gorgeous hardback as well, which I am so happy with. Like, yeah. What else do I have? Oh, I have This Changes Everything by Naomi Klein. I have never heard of this until today. This is another hardback, which I'm happy with. This is a non-fiction. It's about climate change and how capitalism is actually one of the main factors making the environment worse. This was published in 2014. So I'm very curious because this, I feel like, might be a little bit ahead of its time, or like ahead of the mainstream conversations, because I feel like even mainstream wise, the conversations around capitalism specifically and its relationship to the environment isn't really discussed a lot. Like you see it on like Twitter and online and whatnot, but you don't really see it in the mainstream media or anything. And so I think this is going to be a really interesting read. I don't know exactly when I'll read it. I'll probably read, you know, a little bit at a time. One of the first tables that I saw in there was the little poetry table. There wasn't too much there that I was interested in. I did end up picking up Sister Heart by Sally Morgan though, and I am so excited for this. I remember seeing this around like ages ago when it first came out, and I didn't really know what it was about. I also didn't really read poetry as much as I do now back then. Not that I read a lot, but you get the idea. Sally Morgan is an Aboriginal writer, and Sister Heart is about a young girl who is taken from the northern states of Australia and sent to an institution in the southern states of Australia. It's all told in poetry format, and I've heard so many good things about this. I cannot wait. I'm so glad that I have my hands on this. I've said a few times, but I'm trying to read more Indigenous fiction, well, Indigenous Australian fiction to be specific, and this is another one that I've been like thinking of buying really recently anyway, so I'm really happy to have picked it up today. Next up, I ended up getting Codename Barity by Elizabeth Wayne, and this one I just kind of picked up on a whim because it was like $3, and I'm pretty sure I own the second book in paperback, and I was gonna unhaul it because I never had the first one, but now I might actually keep it because now I have the first one. So I just kind of picked this one up on a whim because I was gonna unhaul the sequel, but now I have both the books, so it's okay. And this is set in World War II in Nazi occupied France. While I was looking through, I found so many like really good hardbacks, and this was like one of the first that I found that I really wanted to pick up, and that is The Fountain of Silence by Ruta Sepatis. Now Ruta Sepatis is the same author as Salt to the Sea and Between Shades of Grey, and I have heard so many amazing things about her writing. I also do like historical fiction on the odd occasion as well. Like the historical fiction that I have read, I've really loved, and this one was on my radar for quite a while, but I kind of just didn't end up picking it up for some reason. I don't really have a reason why, but now I ended up getting it for a really good price. This one is set in Madrid in 1957, and it follows a couple of different characters who end up meeting in the lingering kind of after effects of the Spanish Civil War, and I have heard so many good things. I've heard good things about like all of these, but like I'm so stoked with this. In the same vein as that one, I picked up another historical fiction. I feel like in the fiction section there was a lot of historical fiction as opposed to like other genres. It seemed like an overwhelming amount, but I have been seeing this one around again. Like I feel like it's had a sort of resurgence recently, and it's been on my radar for a little while, and that is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hussaini. And this one follows Mariam, who's only 15 when she's sent to Kabul to marry a man who is like 30 years older than her, and then 2 decades later a friendship grows between Mariam and a local teenager, as strong as the ties between mother and daughter. Then the Taliban takes over and life becomes a desperate struggle against starvation, brutality and fear. And I believe it's like a multi-generational sort of historical fiction. I hear it's just absolutely heart-wrenching and beautiful and absolutely amazingly written as well, and I'm very keen to read this at some point. I did find this in like the taller paperback as well, but this one was in a bit better condition, so I picked up the smaller paperback instead. And then finally, I have a book that I personally have never heard of before. I don't know whether it was because I wasn't really in the book community online at all for a couple of years when this came out, or whether it just completely flew under the radar, but I've never heard of this in my life, and I picked it up and I think it sounds so cool. This is The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a perfect condition hardback. It's got deckled edges. Like, it is absolutely beautiful. It is so stunning to look at, and like the spine definitely is what caught my eye, but it just sounds so cool. So this is about Franny Langton, who is accused of murdering her employers. Franny is found covered in blood, and the testimonies and evidence is kind of stacked against her. Franny can't recall why she's covered in the victim's blood or what happened in the first place, but she does end up telling her story of being on a Jamaican plantation, and this becomes sort of a part of her testimony as well. and it says, though her testimony may seal her conviction, the truth will unmask the perpetrators of crimes far beyond murder and indict the whole of English society itself. So it's a murder mystery, but it delves into race, class, oppression, and all of those sorts of things as well. And I just think it sounds so exciting. Apparently it's quite like a gothic mystery as well. So yeah, I am so excited. So these are all of the books that I managed to get today for just over $20, which I'm so happy with. I am really excited about these. I didn't realize how much historical fiction I got, but you know what? That's okay, because I don't actually mind historical fiction. I actually quite like it. I am so excited to start some of these. I don't know like what I want to get to first, but I am so happy with what I managed to get today, and for so cheap as well, and it was for a good cause. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you've hauled recently, or whether you think I should prioritize any of these. Like, do you have any favorites here? Have you read any of these? I know some of them are quite old. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. I will leave all of my socials down in the description as well, and I also stream at twitch.tv/tkitty with 2 Ys. I stream reading sprints and also games. I'm obsessed with Disney Dreamlight Valley at the moment. I hope you have a fantastic day or night. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you all next time.